On tonight's show, we will establish the proper temperature to play Halo in an oven.
Bog Panda.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bog Panda. I am Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram.
I am Dr. Mike, and this is my first pumpkin beer of the season. You can find us both at Official Pagan on everything. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, check out our merchandise, leave a comment, turn on notifications, come back, leave another comment. 2-for-1 comments.
Yeah, and no extra charge for that second comment. It's comp. It's on us. So go right ahead. So Mike found this and shared it and thought we should do a show on it. And I'm super glad he did. It was a wonderful YouTube discovery. The official Duck Studios YouTube channel is a treasure trove of many wonderful things. So very, very interesting things. Very creative guy or a group of guys. And but what we're going to talk about a little bit today is I don't know if it's a recent video or not, but it's recent to us of how long could he play Halo with a monitor in his oven set to go to 400 degrees, which is he's tried this in other venues as well, and like a freezer and some other things there, but this was an oven. It's just fascinating concept, really fun video to watch. So thanks for sharing it. What were you kind of aware of this channel before and just came across this as recent content, or did this particular video catch your eye?
So I wasn't aware of this at all, just because I watch a lot of retro gaming content, and of course because of what we do. Your phones are a spy for the government. They are snitches that you carry with you everywhere. So of course, when you speak about something or do something, ads for that pop up, and in the case of YouTube, you get recommendations that are linked to your interests. So if you go into the Official Pagan YouTube page now, nearly all of the content is retro gaming things that get thrown my way. So this was just something that popped up as a random YouTube recommendation. I was like, huh, what's this? Looks interesting. I had no familiarity with that channel prior to that.
Yeah, I kind of thought, basically you're right in terms of your interests do shockingly tend to appear in both ads and content suggestions in places a lot quicker than you think sometimes. But I assumed it's because of the amount of time you uh, play video games in different household appliances, and based on that, it served something up to you. But it so like I said, super cool channel. Check it out. This video in particular is interesting because it is just as we described it. It was he was trying to figure out how long he could play Halo as he put the monitor in the oven and set it to 400 degrees, and it started to go up to temp, and he just started playing. Um, I was unaware when I started watching this video. I didn't realize he didn't have the monitor to do this, and he went out and bought a brand new monitor for this little stunt, which I thought was pretty impressive. We don't tend to buy new gear for every show.
No, no, we're not at that point yet. We're buying things just to destroy them for a video.
Yeah, and it's interesting over time. I think as this channel has grown, he will now do things like, I just bought everything I saw on Instagram one day, and so he will go through all these different products and stuff. So like I said, it'll be you ought to check this channel out because there's a lot of super good content. This was interesting to see. So what surprised you the most in this video?
So I was actually really curious to see. So it wasn't even so much a surprise. I was just genuinely curious to see, especially when I saw him go out and buy the monitor. So we were going to see this fresh out of box do this. I very briefly sold electronics as a part-time job. So, and this is many, many years ago. I was a much, much younger man selling electronics for a store. And we broke a lot of stuff. I'll just say that way. So this definitely intrigued me.
I was kind of surprised by a couple things in the video. One, it didn't take long. They never got close to
No.
400 degrees, and it was like under 3 minutes before it was game over with the monitor. But the things outside of him actually going out to buy it, and you get the full trip to Best Buy. I mean, it's not like, so we went out and bought this monitor. So no, come along, and we're going to go buy it. And there's several other videos where they go and buy stuff on the channel as well. But so they come back with it, set her up, did that. So I was surprised how quick it went. Wasn't entirely shocked. I was surprised at the amount of damage that happens to a television as it approaches, because I don't think they ever pass like 240 degrees, which is still toasty. But the biggest surprise came to me when they eventually peeled it out, what was left of it, got it out of the oven and plugged it back in. It worked. The monitor still worked, which was, I think, a pretty impressive testament for that model.
Yeah, absolutely. If I owned that company, I would try to turn this into a commercial somehow.
Yep. We do. And I guess they probably wouldn't even bother with it. We don't recommend you do this at home, because they're like, yeah, go ahead, because you're going to have, it'll come back on, but it's really not usable. So you're going to have to go buy
Right.
another one, but you can see what's fine quality.
Go through 5 of them if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very curious because I wasn't sure how this was going to go. Actually watching it though, thinking about it, I'm not surprised that it went so quickly. I was watching a podcast recently that my friend Intrinsic was hosting, and his guest who was zooming in using their phone, they were in Arizona or something like that, and their phone was actually overheating and Zoom would shut down during their interview because they were just outside in Arizona, so their phone overheated. So I was like, yeah, no, I've spent a lot of time in hot places, and that's a thing. So it doesn't surprise me that it went that quickly. In hindsight, in the moment, though, I was like, I can't wait to see what happens.
You had this kind of growing black spot that eventually overtook most of the screen until the game was no longer playable. Then it all bounced back. So crazy stuff. So if you were to play a video game in your oven, Mike, what would your selection be?
Well, because of the growing blacks, like, so knowing about that in advance, the sort of growing black spot over there, because so if I had to guess, I would have actually thought the cords would have went first,
Yeah,
because they're just like the pieces of rubber around them. So I would have thought that would have gone first. Not the monitor wouldn't have been my first guess. So knowing that there's going to be this growing black spot around it, I would choose something that was really bright and colorful, like a Mario or a Sonic game. So I feel like you could get a little further into it. If you choose something that's already kind of dark, as soon as that starts, it's going to be unplayable.
yeah. I think I would go with Atari 2600 Halloween, because there's really not much damage you can do to the display. And so I'd probably be able to, I wouldn't really notice a significant difference in the playability for some time. Cool.